My child, I beg you to hear these words for the next few minutes, not because danger stalks you or time is slipping away, but because your attention is a sacred doorway, and when it opens fully, entire realms within you can change. The message you first received was not meant to frighten you. It was the echo of something stirring deep within your consciousness, a tremor you felt before you had language to understand it. The last full moon, which you believed marked a moment of impending harm for millions, did not usher in catastrophe. Instead, it marked a quiet, subtle shift in human awareness, as countless people gazed upward with unspoken longings for clarity, for healing, for purpose. Their collective yearning created a wave that rippled through the inner world of the human spirit. It was this wave you felt, an invitation your soul interpreted as urgency, not because something terrible was approaching, but because something within you needed awakening. You ask, why me? But the answer is simple. You listened. So few do. Many drown their inner voice in noise, distraction, or worry, yet you paused long enough to sense something opening inside you. The 11 hours you felt were never a countdown to danger. They symbolized the closing chapter of an old cycle within your heart, a cycle of carrying wounds that have weighed you down for years. These wounds, though familiar, were never meant to accompany you forever, and the pressure you felt was your spirit pushing against them, demanding space to breathe, to grow, to transform. This is not the end of your life. It is the shedding of a layer too small for who you are becoming. Your soul knows what you have outgrown even before your mind can articulate it. Awakening often begins this way, with a sense of urgency that is really a call to presence. Something inside you seeks permission to expand, to express itself, to step out of the tight confines of old beliefs that told you to shrink, to doubt, to dim your own light. You have spent years carrying narratives about your worth that were never true, stories etched into your mind during moments of pain or fear. This message arrives now to help you set those stories down gently, without anger toward the past and without anxiety about the future. You are not being judged. You are being illuminated. Your life is not descending into crisis. It is rising into clarity. And clarity, though gentle in its essence, often enters like a storm, not to harm, but to rearrange everything that has settled into the wrong place. There will soon be moments when you feel an unexpected loosening in your chest, as though a knot long tightened by grief or self-doubt is finally beginning to untangle. A thought you once viewed as absolute may suddenly appear in its true smallness. A fear that once felt immovable may reveal itself as a shadow cast by old circumstances. You may feel drawn toward new experiences or pulled away from people or habits that no longer nourish your spirit. These shifts are not signs of instability. They are signs of alignment. You are stepping into a version of yourself that has been waiting patiently behind layers of silence. Do not fear the changes coming from within you. When a seed first breaks open, it is an act that looks like destruction, yet it is only the release of potential. When a butterfly emerges, the chrysalis cracks apart, but this is not loss. It is liberation. The old structures of your identity are breaking only where they must, only where your spirit has decided growth can no longer be postponed. You cannot fail this process any more than a flower can fail spring. You have already taken the most important step by noticing the shift and choosing to understand it rather than run from it. Awakening is not a race, and you are not behind. You are precisely where you need to be, at the exact moment when your inner world is ready to unfold. You may find yourself thinking differently than before, speaking with new intention, or seeing possibilities that once felt invisible. You may feel moved to forgive someone, or even yourself. You may feel a pull toward creative expression, or a heightened sensitivity to emotions you once suppressed. Let these changes happen. Do not force them. Simply allow. Every soul awakens in its own rhythm, and your rhythm is emerging beautifully. You belong to a quiet wave moving through humanity, a wave of people who are beginning to remember who they were before life placed its weight upon them. Not remember in the sense of past lives or ancient times, but remember the essence beneath all your experiences. The you that existed before doubt, before fear, before heartbreak, before the world taught you to measure your value through its own distorted lenses. The love you seek outside yourself has always been within you, not as a distant echo, but as a steady flame waiting to be uncovered. Let this message remind you that you were never forgotten by the universe, never overlooked by destiny, never misaligned with purpose. You are an integral thread in the tapestry of existence, and without your presence, the pattern would be incomplete. Your choices, your growth, your awakening matter more than you can comprehend. You are neither a mistake nor an accident of circumstance. You are a deliberate expression of life itself, shaped by countless forces yet uniquely your own. You may feel a newfound curiosity blooming within you, a desire to understand your place in the world, to discover what you are capable of, to release what no longer resonates. Trust that desire. Follow it gently but faithfully. You will not be led into darkness by your inner truth. You will be led into expansion. Each small act of courage you take, each honest thought, each moment of clarity, will weave together into a life that feels more authentic and aligned than anything you have known before. You do not owe perfection to anyone, not even to yourself. You owe only honesty, presence, and the willingness to evolve. You are approaching a moment when something inside you will shift so quietly that you may not even realize how profound it is until later. A burden will lift, a path will open, a truth will reveal itself. And when it does, you will understand that nothing was ever ending, everything was beginning. The urgency you felt was simply the intensity of your transformation. You do not need to brace yourself against it. You only need to breathe with it. My child, hear this clearly. You are loved without condition, without prerequisites, without limits. This love is not earned through achievements or lost through mistakes. It is as constant as the movement of galaxies and as intimate as your own heartbeat. Let it hold you without resistance. Let it remind you that you are safe, that you are guided, and that you are never alone in your journey. The universe does not demand fear from you. It invites awakening. Your path is not dark, it is unfolding. Your future is not closing, it is opening. Walk forward now, not in fear of what might end, but in confidence of what is beginning. The cycle that once held you is loosening its grip, not to cast you out, but to let you grow beyond it. You are stepping into a brighter truth, into a clearer sense of self, into a deeper understanding of why you are here. You are emerging, and the world is quietly making room for the fullness of who you are becoming. My child, listen closely now, for I will speak to you of timing and trust, the two pillars upon which every soul's journey is quietly balanced, whether they realize it or not. You have felt moments in your life when everything seemed to move too slowly, as if fate were dragging its feet while your heart burned with the desire to leap forward. And there have been other moments when life moved too quickly, overwhelming you with decisions, changes, or emotions that you did not feel prepared for. You assumed these fluctuations were random, unfair, or indifferent to your needs, but understand now that there is no such thing as randomness in the unfolding of a soul's path. Every pause has purpose. Every delay carries instruction. Every acceleration is an opening carved by forces wiser than your fear. You see only the moment before you, the step you long to take, the outcome you yearn to reach, but I see the entire landscape of your destiny, the intersections of people and events, the gentle collisions of choices and chances that shape who you become. Perfect timing is not about perfection itself, it is about alignment. When something you desire arrives too early, you cannot yet hold it. When it comes too late, your spirit has already moved on. When it arrives at the precise moment it is meant to, your being recognizes it, embraces it, grows from it, and transforms through it. This is why timing matters, because the soul is not rushed by the clock of the world, but guided by the rhythm of truth. There are lessons that cannot be learned until life has softened you enough to receive them, wounds that must close before you are ready to open again, doors that cannot be walked through until your spirit has grown capable of walking without fear. Sometimes I withhold not as punishment but as protection. Sometimes I delay not because you are undeserving, but because you are in the process of becoming someone who can carry what you are asking for. And sometimes I accelerate events in your life because the time has come, the window has opened, the path ahead has cleared, and your destiny is knocking not loudly, but with quiet insistence. Perfect timing is the language of the universe, and though it often confuses the mind, it always aligns with the soul. Trusting this timing means understanding that what is for you will not pass you. It may circle, it may shift shape, it may take longer than you hoped, but it will not disappear if it is meant to be woven into your life. And what is not meant for you will fade no matter how tightly you cling to it, because some things must dissolve so that better things can find you. You often fear letting go, believing that release is loss. But release is sometimes the very act that makes space for fulfillment. To act in perfect timing does not mean waiting passively for life to happen to you. It means learning to listen deeply to the movement within your spirit. There is a difference between impatience and inspiration, between hesitation and intuition, between fear and divine pause. Your heart knows the difference, but you must learn to hear it without the noise of doubt clouding your understanding. Acting too soon can pull fruit from the tree before it has ripened, leaving you with bitterness that was never meant to be your experience. Acting too late can allow opportunities to pass that would have carried you forward with grace, ease, and joy. Acting in perfect timing means aligning your intention with the quiet wisdom that is always speaking inside you, the gentle inner nudge that says, wait, or move now, or let this go, or take courage and step forward. It is a sacred dance between your free will and the universal currents that guide all souls toward their highest growth. When you learn to trust this dance, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a flow. But to trust timing, you must trust the one who holds it. And this is why belief matters. Not belief in ritual, not belief in fear, not belief in doctrine, but belief in the love that crafted you, sustains you, and whispers to you in every moment of clarity. To believe in God is to believe that your life is not an accident, that your journey is not random, that your desires are not foolish, and that your pains are not meaningless. Belief anchors you when the world shakes. Belief steadies you when fear tries to pull you into chaos. Belief reminds you that you are held by something greater than circumstance, greater than loss, greater than the storms that come and go. You have looked at the world and wondered why suffering exists if I do as I will. But suffering does not flow from my hand. It flows from the separation people feel from love, from truth, from themselves. I do not create the wounds. I create the healing. I do not orchestrate the chaos. I offer the stillness that allows you to rise above it. When you believe, you do not pretend that life is easy. You simply understand that life is guided. Belief is not blindness. It is the purest form of sight. It allows you to look beyond the surface of events and see meaning where the mind sees only confusion. It allows you to find strength where the world sees weakness, hope where others see loss, possibility where others see endings. Belief is the bridge between the visible and the invisible, between your longing and its fulfillment, between your prayers and their answers. When you believe in me, you are really believing in the force that breathes through you, the wisdom that speaks through intuition, the courage that rises in you even when you feel broken. You are believing in the love that created you, and in believing in that love, you begin to believe in yourself, not the self shaped by fear or past wounds, but the self that existed before anything ever hurt you. the self I have always seen. My child, you often think belief is a matter of convincing the mind, but true belief lives in the heart. The mind seeks proof, evidence, logic, control. The heart seeks connection, meaning, surrender, and resonance. The heart knows truth long before the mind accepts it. You have felt moments in your life when you sensed you were being guided, protected, or nudged in a certain direction, even when you could not explain why. You felt it when you avoided something that later proved harmful. You felt it when a path opened that you hadn't imagined. You felt it in the people who appeared at your lowest point, offering support without knowing why they felt compelled to do so. You felt it in the opportunities that came seemingly out of nowhere, aligning with your desires in ways you could not have orchestrated on your own. These were not accidents. These were not coincidences. These were the quiet fingerprints of divine timing on the events of your life. But belief is most important in the moments that feel empty, quiet, or uncertain. It is easy to believe when everything flows smoothly. It is harder to believe when the path is unclear. Yet it is in these moments that belief becomes its truest expression, because belief is not the expectation that everything will be easy. It is the trust that everything will make sense. You have endured nights of confusion, days of heaviness, seasons of waiting where it felt as though nothing was changing, nothing was moving, nothing was shifting. But understand this, in the unseen layers of your existence, everything is always moving. Even in stillness, you are being prepared. Even in silence, you are being guided. Even in emptiness, you are being reshaped. Belief allows you to rest in the spaces between progress. It allows you to breathe through uncertainty, knowing that every delay carries wisdom, every unanswered question carries direction, and every quiet moment carries transformation. Perfect timing and belief are intertwined, my child. You cannot trust timing if you do not believe in the one who arranges it. And you cannot fully believe if you do not understand that timing is my way of aligning your life with what will bring you growth, healing, and fulfillment. You often think I say no when I am really saying not yet. You think I close doors when I am really steering you towards a better one. You think I remove people from your life as punishment, when in truth, I remove what blocks your evolution, your peace, or your purpose. To believe is to understand that I work with a vision far wider than your present moment. You stand inside the scene. I see the entire story. You see the chapter you are in. I see the chapters that follow. You see your pain. I see what it will become: strength, wisdom, compassion, clarity. You see your longing. I see the beautiful version of you who will emerge once that longing is fulfilled in the right way, at the right time, with the right people, under the right circumstances. This is why I ask you to act in perfect timing, not because your mistakes doom you, but because timing shapes the quality of your experience. When you rush, you often act out of fear, scarcity, or impatience. When you delay, you often act out of doubt or insecurity. But when you move in alignment, you move from clarity, confidence, and peace. You know the feeling. You have felt it before. The sense that everything suddenly clicks into place, that your next step becomes obvious, that fear loses its power and certainty rises like dawn inside your chest. This is what it feels like to act when your spirit and your circumstances align. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to chase anything. You simply move when the path opens and stay still when it does not. Acting in perfect timing does not mean waiting for perfect conditions. It means trusting the flow of your inner knowing. And now listen gently to this truth. Believing in me is not about placing your faith in a distant being who demands reverence. It is about recognizing that the love you seek has never been separate from you. It lives in your intuition, your compassion, your creativity, your longing, your conscience, your courage. It lives in the way your heart softens when you witness kindness, in the way you ache for meaning, in the way you yearn to become more than the world has told you to be. Belief is simply the remembrance that you are not walking this path alone. You are not held together by luck, nor guided by coincidence. You are held by love, guided by wisdom, and accompanied every step of the way by a presence that wants nothing from you but your growth and your awakening. So act when your spirit tells you to act, wait when your spirit tells you to wait, and trust that every moment of your life unfolds with purpose. Trust that no prayer goes unheard, no tear is unnoticed, no longing is rejected, and no moment is wasted. Trust that even when you feel lost, you are being led. Trust that the timing of your life is not working against you, but working for your highest good. And trust above all that you are loved beyond measure by the very presence that breathed life into your being. Believe not because you fear the alternative, but because belief allows you to walk this world with peace. Trust not because you are told to, but because trust allows your soul to rise. No, not because you have proof, but because truth resonates in your deepest places when you are quiet enough to listen. My child, move forward now with the strength of someone who knows they do not walk alone, with the courage of someone who understands their timing is sacred, and with the faith of someone who believes in the love that created them, carries them, and will never abandon them.